Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. And as you know, we start every show with a little lift-off.
9, 8,
just
7,
to lift your
6,
spirits.
5, 4,
Levantar el
3,
ánimo, I think you say,
2,
maybe.
1.
All right, well, either way,
0.
folks, get pumped, get psyched, because we are going
Lift
on an
off.
exciting English journey. Here we go. Come on. Lift off, baby.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats.
Get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no name tonight on Vaughn Radio.
It's the show with no name. Come on, folks. Get into it.
Let's go.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. It's the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. And I know you guys have had an exciting morning with my amigos, Rob Grams and the Probo Show. And right before this show, no excuses with the one and only Fitz. Get pumped, get psyched, because we're going to learn, we're going to laugh, we're going to play, and we're going to forget about all our troubles. We're going to leave them far behind. Me suena de una canción. Leave your troubles far behind. Deja las preocupaciones para otro momento. Bueno, más. We say far behind, muy lejos. Right now, just focus on having fun, learning English, and playing with us here on Vaughn Radio, where when this show ends, you've got so much more. That's right. You know how lucky you guys are? You have Ximena Holiday. She is not only one of the greatest teachers, but she is also one of the nicest people I know. And that is the one and only Ximena Holiday. You can listen to her program, Test Your English. It's right after this program every day. Don't miss it, folks. And speaking of not missing things or missing out on, toma, con dos preposiciones, missing out on something, I hope you don't miss out on our trivia night. Guess who's hosting our upcoming Vaughn Radio Trivia Night?
My name's Richard Vaughn. It's a real pleasure to meet you.
You guessed it. None other than the one and only Richard Vaughn. Join us on Wednesday, December 13th at 8:30 p.m. We're gonna have fun. We'll laugh. We'll play. You'll meet your favorite Vaughn Radio presenters and your fellow students. And there are even prizes for the winning team. So don't miss it. Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Hosted by the one and only Richard Vaughn. Wednesday, December 13th at Roll Madrid, Calle de Amaniel 23. It's going to be tons of fun. That's right, folks. We're all going to be there. It's this Wednesday. That's just a couple days away. So mark your calendar, December 13th. And, folks, it's time for Question of the Week.
Question of the Week.
That's right, folks. Question of the week. Now, we haven't done question of the week in a couple Fridays. So just to clear up any confusion here, because I can understand how you'd be like, wait, when are we doing that again? Let me explain. In fact, the first thing I'm going to do is open up my calendar so I know what's going on. So last Friday, we had a holiday. Many people had the day off, including myself. December 1st, we celebrated our 20th anniversary show that, if you haven't heard that, you're going to want to give that a listen because it's a lot of things. It was exciting. It was emotional. It was nostalgic. We sent a lot of love to those that have been lost along the way. So, folks, not today, but this week's question of the week, which we'll look at this Friday, which is the 15th of December, And it's a nice time to think about our earliest childhood memory. So if you know what your earliest childhood memory is, and you would like to explain it to us in around a minute, you can go a little over or a little under. Keep it at around a minute. Always start with a hey. Even if you've done it a million times, start by saying, hey, it's Paco. Good morning, good afternoon. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. You don't say whatever you would say, but introduce yourself, and then you can start with the explanation. My earliest memory is, and don't just tell us what your earliest memory is, but also tell us how it makes you feel, or what, if you can remember the five senses, the sight, smell, because some of my memories. How many times has this happened to you? You're walking down the street, just minding your business, as we say, and you pass by somebody, and you're like, you get a whiff. A whiff is like a little a little smell. You get a whiff of some perfume, and you're like, oh my God, it's that's a smell. And sometimes you can't pinpoint it. No sabes de dónde, but that's a smell that your teacher wore in high school, the one you had a crush on. I'm using an example here, but it's amazing how when we reminisce, when we try and recall things, we use the five senses. So use the five senses if you participate in this week's question of the week. Now, if you haven't participated, this is an easy one, guys. You don't have to spill your soul here. Derramar todo tu alma delante de todos. You just have to recall one of your earliest memories. Now, wait a second. If it's like a really bad memory, I mean, we're trying to keep good vibes here. So let's say your earliest nice memory. You're like, I remember when my parents abandoned me. They left me there behind the laundromat. Hey, that I'm not laughing at that situation, but that would stink if that was your first memory. So if you know what your first or earliest, in my case, I'll share it with you on Friday, but it was a particular event, right? But we'll see what your answers are. I've gotten a few different answers already, and I have to sift through them because I got a little bit mixed up myself. A lot of you sent me audio for the 20th anniversary show, and other people sent me audio for this one. So I got a lot of work to do to sift through that. But if you haven't participated, send me a 1-minute voice message from your phone, and you can send it to aalonso@grupovon.com. aalonso@grupovon.com. Oh, and speaking of grupovon.com, stop by our website because we've got tons of deals right now. Do you know about Vaughn Groups? Well, I'm going to tell you all about them. They are group English classes that you can do via video conference or in person. And the good news is you can start whenever you want. And you can keep the same timetable, teacher, and throughout the whole course. And the best part, there's no strings attached. Sin compromiso. And if you act now, you can get a 5% discount for paying up front. And if you stick with the course for 6 months, you'll get a 50% discount in June. Wow, what a deal! As if you needed more reasons to learn English with Vaughn. Check out our Vaughn groups. Have fun and make friends as you learn English. Sign up now while there are still spots available. Call us 911-385831, or you can go to our website, grupovaughn.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media and find out if Vaughn groups are for you. That's right, folks. More information at our website, grupovaughn.com. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for today's pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, amigos. Welcome to your pop quiz. Today we're going to be taking a look at some prepositions. Now, what's weird about prepositions is they're really small, tiny little words, in, on, and at. But usually prepositions are where I can tell somebody's real level. So right away, if somebody uses the wrong preposition, I'm like, Even if they have an amazing accent, those, as I call them, pesky prepositions. And today we're going to be listening to a little audio clip from Preposiciones en Inglés que deberías conocer. It's available at the Vaughn Tienda. It's $10, under $10. And it gives you all these little tricks. And also another thing, too, we don't really learn them with in, on, or at. We learn them as a sound. Remember with my daughter. So my daughter will never say it depends of, because she's heard me say depends on, depends on, depends on. So she just repeats depends on. So Preposiciones en Inglés que deberías conocer. It's available at the Vaughn Tienda. It comes with audio, as many of our books do, and it's a part of the collection. We've got a collection of que deberías conocer books, and those are Preposiciones en Inglés que deberías conocer, phrasal verbs in Inglés que deberías conocer, conjunciones, I don't know if I said that, conjunctions in Inglés que deberías conocer, and expresiones en inglés que deberías conocer. So they're all under $10, 10 euros, and they all come with audio. They're available at vaughntienda.com. All right, let's listen to some audio from Preposiciones en Inglés que deberías conocer. And then I've got a couple challenges for you. So here we go.
On time versus in time versus at the time. On time.
Su vuelo llegó a tiempo.
His flight arrived on time.
Llegaré a tiempo.
I will arrive on time.
Los brasileños nunca llegan a tiempo.
Brazilian people never arrive on time. In time.
Llegamos con la suficiente antelación para coger buenos asientos.
We arrived in time to get good seats.
Espero llegar con tiempo para despedirme de él.
I hope I arrive in time to say goodbye to him. At the time.
En ese momento no entendía qué quería decir ella.
At the time, I didn't understand what she meant.
Él se casó en el 1988. Tenía 26 años en ese momento.
He got married in 1988. He was 26 at the time. Be careful.
Las cosas mejorarán con el tiempo.
Things will get better in time.
Aprenderás inglés perfectamente con el tiempo.
You will learn English perfectly in time.
Con el tiempo conocerás a alguien.
In time, you'll meet someone.
All right. Folks, it's preposiciones en inglés. And as you know, all our books come with audio. So make sure you guys get on board at the Vaughn Tienda. There's so many deals right now. I'm serious. And also at grupovaughn.com. So if you're thinking of signing up for any courses, our winter intensive, our Christmas, those right now, we've got a special deal. I know I just saw an email just a couple moments ago. So what I recommend you do, if you're looking for excellent classes or resources in English, is go to our website, grupovaughn.com, and see what we've got right now on sale. Also, if you're following us on social media, you'll be able to find that information all over there as well. All right, prepositions. All right, folks, here we go. I've got 3 for you. 3 that I've often heard wrong. And I want to make sure you guys don't fall into these traps. So the first one is, él hizo la comunión a los 7. Él hizo, give me all 3 of them together. Él hizo la comunión a las 7. A los 7, no a las 7. A las 7 es, ¿ves? Sí, I'm mixing it up. So a las 7 es, no es a la hora. A los 7, con 7 años. Okay? Con 7, you would say, in fact. So, él hizo la comunión con 7, o a los 7 años. Okay? The next one. Soñé con ella anoche. Soñé con ella anoche. That's our second one. And the last one. Él se casó con la hermana de ella. Él se casó con la hermana de ella. All right, these are some common mistakes with prepositions in English. Again, if you want to master these pesky prepositions, check out the book, Preposiciones en Inglés que deberías conocer, because again, when I know if somebody's a native speaker or not is the prepositions. I'm telling you, it's a dead giveaway. A dead giveaway. Es como te delatas ahí. I'm like, oop, wrong one. Yep. You know, I guess it would be like in Spain if I say, soñé alrededor de ella anoche. I alrededor, around, another preposition. You'd be like, ¿qué? Pero a ver, que estabas. So it's really important that you use the right preposition. Also, because as I said, we learn them as sounds. So, for example, when I tell you guys, listen to, we don't learn listen without to. We don't learn wait without for. Because they go together like rama, lama, 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 dimmy, ding, dang. All right, let's see who's in our virtual classroom. We've got Born to Iron Man. Hello, buddy. How you doing? He says, morning, friends. Morning to you, too. There's David. David says, good morning, Alberto and mates. Good morning to you, David. Great to have you on board. Marisol bringing her sunshine to the class. What's up, Marisol? She says, good morning there. I recently finished reading a fantasy book for the 3rd time already, twice in Spanish and once in English. I can say that I know it back to front. Awesome. Great to hear you are reading books in English. Quick question, Marisol. Are you reading them aloud? Because if you are, you're not just, getting more vocabulary and all that jazz, but you're also practicing speaking. And I noticed, as somebody who, kind of speaks Spanish pretty well in general, when I read in Spanish, I sound like a 4-year-old. No, seriously. I'm like, y él se fue a... So reading is a skill, reading aloud. I'm telling you. Wonderful, Marisol. Very proud of you. There's another model student. It's Laura. And Laura says, good morning, lovely show with no namers. What's up, Laura? Great to have you on board. German is in the house, and he says, morning, guys. How are you faring? Wait a second. You guys smell that? Para usar la palabra antes. Did you get a whiff of that? How are you faring? Nice one. Wow. All right. Okay, my amigos, we've got to take a look at those pesky prepositions. Let's see what we've got here. Laura is the first one to participate. And let's see what she got with these pesky prepositions. She said he made his first communion when he was 7. He made, I got to check that one. Because I would say to do first communion. Let me check it. I'm checking, Laura. Maybe it's to have. Yeah. He had his first communion or received. The verb. Yeah. To have his first communion. Yeah. I would say do instead of make. I'm not seeing make here. That's why I'm looking, because maybe they use that in some places, right? So I would say he did or he had his first communion when he was 7. I'll take it. Just for me, Laura, it sounds more natural with did or had. Okay? Instead of made for some reason. All right, born number 2. Excuse me. I'm jumping to Born to Iron Man. I'm all excited over here. And she says, I dreamt about her last night. Hey, sometimes you get an applause. Sometimes you get air horns. And sometimes you get both. All right. Let's see. So I dreamt about her. Now, that's an awesome thing that Laura gave us there. Because here's my question I always ask my students. Is it dreamed or dreamt? The answer is both. Yeah. It's one of those that it's both regular or irregular. I guess it's grammar fluid. Grammar fluid. It doesn't feel like it belongs to any. So I dreamt about her last night. Excellent. You could say I dreamed or I dreamt about her last night. And the third one, he got married to her sister. Yeah. So the issue here, and Laura didn't fall into the trap, but the issue here is that a lot of people say, I dreamt with you last night. I'm like, oh, were we hooked up to a machine or something? Did I miss something? Was this some kind of science fiction movie? So yeah, in Spanish, you say soñar con alguien. We say soñar sobre o de, right? I dream of days when I won't have to work as much. Eso es soñar con algo también. So to dream of, to dream about, but never to dream with. So write it down, because it's not just a pesky preposition. It's also a pretty common mistake there. But Laura didn't fall into that trap. The other one, he got married with her. Se casó con ella. Again, as Laura put, he got married to her. So excellent job. Folks, I can't believe it. We've got to go to a quick commercial break. Time flies when you're having fun, amigos. The good news. we're going to be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Es una frase muy larga para decir en un plis plas. In 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Más fácil. In the blink of an eye. In a flash. Say it however you want. But you know the phrasal verb I'm going to say right now. So say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Oh, and by the way, we are officially in our Christmas countdown. We've got this week and next week of live shows, and then we're taking a little break. It'll be great. I'll rest my voice a little bit. Also rest my eyes. As many of you guys know, I sit in front of 2 screens, a light, which is why you can see me okay, if you guys are watching. So sometimes I feel myself overusing my eye muscles. I squint. Toma palabra. To squint. Como cuando se te entra la luz muy brillante por el ojo, you squint, right? Toma palabra, squint. A ver cómo lo decís en español. Va a ser como cerrar los ojos con guiño. A ver, squint. Bizquera, no. Entrecerrar los ojos, entornar los ojos. The sun was so bright, we had to squint. That's right. All right, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to this, the second part of today's show with no name. And I think we're going to kick off with today's Say What soundbite. Say what? What? Say what? Say what? Huh? All right, amigos, it's our Say What soundbite. I think this one's going to be pretty tough today. Bastante difícil. No, I don't like that word. Sorry, scratch that. Cancela eso. It's going to be challenging. I think you guys will be able to handle it. I'm interested to know if you recognize the accent. Well, every day, but today especially. I want to know if you know where this person is from. Also, I want you to tell me what's going on in this audio clip. You're going to hear it a total of 4 times. As you know, you'll have 4 chances to jot it all down. But initially, I just want your take on it in your best English. So here we go with today's Say What soundbite for the first time.
If we were at home, obviously the Grand National's in Liverpool itself.
Yep.
So if we actually had been drawn at home that day, that Saturday, we'd play the game early. So we kick off at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my Lord. What? Doesn't sound like at all like me, right? Nada. Cero. That's because we are from different continents, different worlds, this person and myself. All right, well, let me give it to you again, and I'm curious to hear what you guys heard. Also, we're going to check your pop quiz answers. We've got a lot more answers, and I see we've got a couple mistakes, which is great because mistakes are blessings in disguise, as I always say. No hay mal que por bien no venga. Con un error, we're like, sí, pues apuntado. Toma, uno menos. Like, that's why we look at this, married with, married, or what's the other? I dreamt with you. No. And why do I bring up these specific ones? I've been teaching for over 20 years, and I've heard them over 20 million times. All right, I'm overstating it, but I'm American. That's what we do. All right, here we go with today's Say What soundbite for the second time.
If we were at home, obviously the Grand National's in Liverpool itself.
Yep.
So if we actually had been drawn at home that day, that Saturday, we'd play the game early. So we kick off at 11 o'clock in the morning.
All right, there we go, folks. Curious to hear where you think this guy is from. Is it the United States? I don't think so. Is it Canada? I don't think so. What about Oxford? ¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan. Brilliant! That's right, folks. You can get more information about that and everything else at our website, grupovon.com. All right, we listened to our Say What soundbite. We've also got some other people participating in our pop quiz. Let's see. Born to Iron Man, he received, yep, you can say receive. He received his Erst Communion. Con tilde. What language are we speaking here, buddy? We don't use those. Born to Iron Man, 2 mistakes in 1 sentence. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is that what we're looking for? You tell me. I'm not going to say a word, but I'll read it. All right. He received his Erst Communion at the age of 7. I can't give you an applause for it, though. Okay, but you can say at the age of 7. That's correct, too. What we can't say is with 7. All right, the second one. I dreamt of her last night. All right, we can give you an applause there. But no air horn. I was careless over there. And I'll tell you what, if it weren't you, si no fuera tú, I'd say, okay, well, I expect it. But I don't expect that from you. Born to Iron Man. All right, and the third one, he got married to her sister. Very good. All right, German says he received his first comunión. If you guys want to speak Spanish, mira, a mí me da igual. Yo como estoy acostumbrado, pues mi mujer, tengo que hacer muchas cosas en español. Por mí bien, ¿eh? Así practico yo un poco. We're not off to the greatest start today. I'll say that. All right, they're careless mistakes, but that's exactly why I'm like, why? You know? So here, and please don't even think of telling me it's my spell checker on my phone. I'm like, you're supposed to be the one who's smarter than the phone to say, no quise decir hace, quise decir have. I have a phone too, guys, and you can put it in 7 languages if you want. You can put 7 to 10 keyboards. So that es que el autocorrector, you know what I say to that? Métete el autocorrector por ahí. The autocorrector is step 1. You are the final step. Your eyes are the final step before you hit send on that email when you're looking for a job. And if you have a typo in your cover letter, tu carta de presentación, I can swear on my grandfather's grave, I'm not hiring you. I don't care how qualified you are. You overlooked some details there. So, carelessness, you guys know how I feel about that. Mistakes are magical. Carelessness is, come on. All right, so, the second one, I dreamt of her last night. Great. He married her sister. Great job. All right. Lupe. Lupe says, good morning. Good morning to you, Lupe. He received his first communion at 7. Lupe. Perfect. See? First communion, todo escrito perfecto. Number 2, he dreamt of her last night. Yes, Lupe. Thank you. You know I love it. And the third one, he got married to her sister. Lupe. Marisol says he did the communion at the age of 7. I think I would say he did his communion. Ahí lo personalizaría. Suena raro el the ahí. But great. You can say, as you guys saw, at 7 or at the age of 7. Pero es at. Okay? Marisol says, I dreamt about her last night. Excellent job, Marisol. And he got married to the sister of her. Eso es español. Tendríamos que decir, he got married to her sister. Más fácil ahí. Her sister. All right, great job. There's Chris Valrol. And she says, morning, dear show with no namers. He received communion when he was 7. Yes. I dreamt about her last night. And there's a song there, Chris. I'm not getting it. Maybe I need some more coffee here. Great. I dreamt about her last night. And the third one, he got married her sister. All right, we got to be careful here. And I wanted to point this out. So he married her sister, or he got married to her sister. See? So dependeríamos, ahí no vale el get, porque, bueno, o quitamos el he married her sister, or he got married to her sister. So take note, folks. You can say it either way, but the structure is a little bit different. One with 2 and one without 2. Let's see. Vero participating in our Say What soundbite. Good morning to you, Vero. Vero says it sounds like an interview. Te falta una N ahí. It sounds like an interview to one of the Beatles. He tells that on a certain day, they had a blast playing at a certain place. He's not a Beatle, but good ear. Good ear. All right, Laura. Laura says, I heard the voice of a British man whose strong accent I can't really pinpoint. He's talking about a football game that they had to play in Liverpool really early in the morning. All right. Great job, Laura. Great ear. Chris Valrol says, I heard a man who could be a musician. Nope. I get it. I get the musician thing, but it's not a Beatles guy. But there is a Beatles connection. Me voy a callar. I'm going to tell you. So I heard a man who could be a musician because he's talking about a gig. He mentioned Liverpool. So I guess his accent could come from this place. All right. So we're doing some detective work. I like it. All right. Lupe says, I heard a man who could be Scottish. Now, wait a second, Lupe. I've got to tell you something. Right now, you're the only one who has said Scottish. And you're the only one who is 100% correct. Wow, Lupe, today's your day. Today is definitely your day, Lupe. You are on it. Wow. And so, yes, he's Scottish. He's Scottish. But there is a Liverpool connection, as you said. So I heard a man who could be Scottish. He's talking about maybe a football match. Absolutely. And he said something about a kickoff on a Saturday. Lupe, what a great ear you've got over there. All right. Let's see. Chris says, maybe I made up this gig thing. I really heard playing. The song was Last Night. Last night. Baby, it feels so right. Well, Chris, did you know the Strokes are coming to Madrid in June? And you know who else is going to be playing? Green Day. Yeah, I've already got tickets. I love Green Day. Green Day is like my high school. You know, I listened to Green Day even before Dookie. I'm so cool. All right, well, excellent job, everybody, in today's Say What soundbite. But right now, we have got to move on because we've got so much to do. So let's get into today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
All right, amigos. All right, it is time for our Spelling Bee. What's going on there? Oh, you guys are into motorsports, huh? I'm not. Hey, I like the sound. In fact, we're taking my daughter over to the monster truck shows. They're bringing the monster trucks to Madrid. And I told my daughter, you want to go? She's like, yeah, sure. And then I put it on TV for her. And she was like, what? Because, you know, the monster trucks, they crush the cars. Like, it is a really, really American thing, you know, the Gravedigger, Bigfoot. I used to go see them when I was a child, and we're taking my daughter. But don't worry. Those of you who are worried about her hearing, audición, we've got some headphones for her, right? These protective ones, because I plan on bringing her to air shows, and the decibels at an air show can be even louder. But just imagine this. Imagine being in We Think Center, the Palacio Deportes, We Think Center, whatever. Palacio Deportes. You're in there, and you've got 6 trucks revving their engines. It gets really, really loud. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be, that was a Reyes. The 3 wise men gave us that gift. So that was, Daddy asked for that one. But also Daddy, that's me, Daddy always asks for gifts that he thinks the whole family can enjoy. So for my birthday, my wife said, what do you want? I go, well, I'm dying to go to Portaventura. I mean, I'm dying to go there for the last since I've been in Spain. I'm dying to go to this place. And I think my daughter would love it. There's like a Sesame Street land. And I think you would love it too, because it's, a beautiful part. And sure enough, we went to Portaventura, and the memory remains. Ash to ash, dust to dust. Metallica. Hey, Chris, you got me now in the music mode over here. But the memory remains. Speaking of memories, if you haven't participated in the question of the week, you've got a couple days, but don't wait. Don't put it off. All right, here we go with today's spelling bee. I'm going to spell 6 words for you over here. There'll be even some numbers in here. For the sake of simplicity, let's capitalize the first letter of each word. Here we go. Everybody ready? All right. The first one is FORMULA space ONE space RACING. The second one is MAX space VERSTAPPEN. The third one is 2021 space ABU space DHABI space GRAND space PRIX. The fourth one is LEWIS space HAMILTON. The fifth one is FIR. Excuse me, I'll start again. The fifth one is FIRST space DUTCH space CHAMPION. And the last one is UNITED space ARAB space EMIRATES. And while you guys are thinking that through, let me remind you about our new shows. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Vaughn Radio proudly presents 2 brand spanking new shows. You can join Ruby every weekday on her program Speak Up from 3 to 4 p.m. Speak Up is for students who are just getting started and superstars who want to go over the basics. Let Ruby guide you through the English experience on her new program, Speak Up, on Vaughn Radio from 3 to 4 p.m. And Frankly Speaking, hosted by Chris. This program will be on every evening from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And in Frankly Speaking, Chris Frank will make you feel like you were at the restaurant or bar with him in a totally native conversation. Learn English as you have fun with Frankly Speaking. So make sure you check out our 2 latest programs. You're going to love them. Frankly Speaking with Chris from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And Speak Up with Ruby from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I have a feeling, I have a hunch you're going to love these new programs. Exclusively on Vaughn Radio. Don't miss them. That's right, amigos. Brand new shows with Chris Frank and also with Ruby. But we've got shows all day long. And the good thing is they are very varied. I mean, I know all the people I work with, and each one of them is unique. Like you can't be like, oh, well, Chris is just like this guy. And Kyle's just, no, not here, not on Vaughn Radio. And I think that's an important thing because we all use the Vaughn method, which is a very natural way of learning. We all use the Vaughn method, but also a huge part of the Vaughn method, the vehicle of the Vaughn method is the teacher. So if you want to find out more and get your own Vaughn teacher, go to our website, grupovaughn.com. You can also call us. It's 911-385831. Take advantage of our special deals right now for the holidays. All right. Spelling Bee, round one. We've got a couple people participating here. The first person to take a stab at it is our buddy Born to Iron Man. And at first glance, Born to Iron Man, it looks right. Let's take a closer look. The first one is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one is incorrect. Nice effort, though. Great effort. All right, let's see. Chris Valrol's taking a stab at it over here. Chris is like, I think I got it here. All right, the first one, Chris, is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one is correct. The fourth one is also correct. The fifth one is correct. And so is the sixth one. Oh my God. That was crazy fast, and you nailed it. You dotted your I's. You crossed your T's along with Laura. Wow, the ladies. That attention to detail, I'm telling you, amazing job, Chris and Laura, in today's Spelling Bee. But folks, I can't believe it. We'll do round two right after our commercial break. But also Marisol. Wow. So Chris Valrol, Laura, and Marisol have nailed today's very tough Spelling Bee on the first go. I'm speechless. Honestly, I'm speechless. Unbelievable job. You are on the ball, espabiladísimos. Keep it up, because we've got so many more challenges in the second part of today's show. So, you know what I'm going to say. So say it with me. Stick around. Nice job, amigos. And thanks for learning and laughing with us here every day on the show with no name. Newsflash. We interrupt our regularly scheduled program to bring you this breaking news. Attention all show with no namers. As of January 2024, the Show with No Name live stream will be available exclusively to my patrons. If you'd like to continue to watch the show daily and participate in real time, join us at patreon.com/Alberto Alonso. And what is Patreon, you may ask? Well, as many of you know, I've been teaching for over 20 years. I've taught all kinds of people, from famous folks to young kids. And with a background in acting, I love communication. I have a radio show that's been on the air for 15 years and a very successful podcast called FYI. I've also written 5 books and have appeared on numerous TV and radio programs. But the thing I'm most proud of is this curious community on Patreon that we are creating every day together. And I really think you should join us. For as little as €3 a month, you can have access to Show with No Name live stream daily. Every week you can get a bonus episode of FYI. Also PDFs so you can follow the podcast. And the moment you sign up, you'll have access to an archive of over 1,000 posts. You'll also get early access to all my content. And a new feature, a chat, so you can have direct access to me and your fellow students. And most of all, you'll be a part of a curious community of people just like you, English explorers. Consider joining us on Patreon for as little as €3 a month, and you'll get access to so many English resources. And I highly recommend you sign up for a yearly membership. This way you make a commitment and you'll also save 10%. And don't take my word for it. Just ask some of my interstellar students.
I've already improved my pronunciation, and as a consequence, I've gained a lot of confidence in my speaking. Thanks to our weekly review class and our monthly masterclass, where, by the way, to top it off, we have a lot of fun. In a nutshell, if you are willing to better your English, and much more, in a fun way, you won't regret it if you join us.
Alberto is a passionate teacher, an excellent communicator, and what I think is key, he's able to put himself in the student's shoes. He's always willing to help. You'll have access to a wide range of topics every week, bonus content, vocabulary receipts, weekly review classes, monthly master classes, and so on. I think it's much more than just learning English. So go to Patreon, have a look around, and give it a try.
Because it has helped me keep my English in check and improve my language skills in the most fun way, because his podcast is really entertaining and fun, and so are the classes that we have afterwards to revise and go over the vocabulary and just discuss interesting topics. So if you're considering becoming a Patreon, don't hesitate, because that's a great way to improve your English.
We now return you back to your regularly scheduled program. So what are you waiting for? Learn and laugh with us in our curious community over on patreon.com/Alberto Alonso. See you there. Hello, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to... What's the show called? Oh, right. It doesn't have a name. Right. How could I forget? Well, welcome back to whatever this is to you. We hope it's fun, at least. It's the show with no name, amigos, on Vaughn Radio. A place where English is exciting, interactive, informative, and hopefully entertaining. But that's up to you to decide, my amigos. We hope you find this entertaining and that you're learning and laughing all day long with all our shows, including the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy, Dave Boys and the Salad, Kyle Miller's Drive Time, the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams, and don't forget about the one and only Richard Vaughn in Richard Vaughn Live, where you can learn about everything and anything. Richard is a walking encyclopedia. And you can catch him every day here on Vaughn Radio. Just download our free app, and you can listen wherever, whenever. All right, folks, time for Homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. Show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And as always, here's where we take a look at words that might be a bit confusing at first glance. Let's see if you, A, are familiar with the words, and B, know if they sound exactly the same or not. Now, the first word is a word we were just talking about. Carrera. También es el verbo hacer una carrera. ¿No? So carrera, hacer una carrera. And I don't mean de estudios. I mean like, Fernando Alonso, like that. Or, any kind, even running as well, okay? And we'll take a look at it more in context as well, because obviously we use that first word. Oh, man, we use it a lot. La vida es una carrera de loco, like this kind of stuff, all right? So carrera is the first word. The second word is levantar, subir, alzar. All right? It's also to raise, I almost said it. Subir en intensidad, volumen, levantar al aire. También, en inglés americano es un aumento de salario. En inglés británico no. Ellos usan otra palabra, but we're going to take a look at that in just a moment. Speaking of Britannicos, a lot of you said that this guy in our Say What soundbite is Britannico. Let's see if you can figure out what this guy's saying. Here it is for the third time, your Say What soundbite.
If we were at home, obviously the Grand National's in Liverpool itself.
Yep.
So if we actually had been drawn at home that day, that Saturday, we'd play the game early. So we kick off at 11 o'clock in the morning.
All right, there you go, my amigos. That's your Say What soundbite. You'll hear that one more time a little bit later on in the show. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got our homophones. We've also got to give you the spelling bee for the second time. Movies, we've got a lot of stuff to do. All right, let's see. Daniela. Hello, Daniela. Great to have you on board. And Daniela says the two words correctly. And she says they don't sound the same. All right. Let's see. Laura. Laura says the two words are and they don't sound the same. Oh, wait a second here. So two amazing students who barely screw up, apenas la cagan, are telling me that they don't sound the same. All right. Let's see. German, another amazing student. And he says, they're not homophones, man. Well, he didn't say man. I just added man. Born to Iron Man. The second word is incorrect. So I can't tell you if it's right or wrong because we're comparing different things there. But you gave us the British way of saying un aumento, que lo vamos a mirar también, amigo. So thanks for bringing it to us. Lupe gives us the two words, and she says they don't sound alike either. All right, well, let's take a look at it here. The first word is race. Race. También es raza. No? Race, right? What race are you? Caucasian. What race, right? Also, we talk about the rat race, la carrera de locos. Man, life is a rat race. Piénsalo, somos ratas como going and running around, right? So it's an informal test of speed. Fred won the race. It's also the verb, as I said. So they raced, es un verbo regular. They raced yesterday. I remember in the 1950s in Greece, in those kind of movies, they were always racing their muscle cars, as we call them. So it's competir, right? Let's see, what else? I'm thinking of other ones too. The Rat Race. That's a Bob Marley song, by the way. My daughter loves Bob Marley. Get up, stand up. Buffalo soldier in the war for America, stolen from Africa. My daughter's learning the continents. Thanks, Bob Marley. I owe you one. from the grave. I owe you one, Bob Marley. She's learning get up for your rights, defiende tus derechos. Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is incredible. As we dance, mientras hacemos ejercicio. So it's a really great exercise. Music is I'm going to quote a song. I forget the DJ, but maybe it's Danny Tenaglia. He's a DJ I used to see all the time in New York. Music is the answer to your problems. Music is the answer to your problems. I forget keep on grooving, keep on moving. Music is the answer. It's so true. So true. All right. So then we've got a drag race. Es carrera de estos de Greece, de los 50. A horse race. Again, you can always there add whatever's racing, right? A car race, a motorcycle race, a mixed race. Now we're going back to people as race. And a race. A race against time. Una carrera contra reloj, right? This is a race against time. Un coche de carreras is a race car. Un caballo de carreras is a race horse. De hecho, hay una expresión que decimos en inglés y no sé dónde ha salido. Imagino que los caballos de carrera mean mucho. I gotta pee like a racehorse. ¿Y eso en tu próxima clase de inglés? Your teacher's gonna be like, where did you know that? Oh man, this rat race is killing me. I gotta pee like a racehorse. The race track es el circuito. So again, if we look at the word, it's a rich word there. Okay, it's got a lot of parallels to this, corriendo la carrera en la vida, right? And the second word is raise. Raise. Please raise your hand if you're going to enter the race. Please raise your hand if you're going to enter the race. They are not homophones. Daniela, Laura, German, Lupe, Chris Valrol. Wonderful job. Oh, and that second one, remember, raise. Can I have a raise? That's what I would ask my American boss. If I'm British, I'd say, can I have a rise, a pay rise? So they say raise and rise. And easiest way to give you the difference between raise and rise, que no es en ese aspecto, pero como verbo, right? Think about this. If you raise your hand, right, you have to do something. Something rises by itself. You don't have to do anything. So just think of the word sunrise. No, el sol, ahí mágicamente, it just happens, right? Something has to be raised. You have to, another force has to somehow interact with it and raise it, right? So in your case, you're raising your hand. So it's an intentional thing. Whereas something rises, prices have risen, porque es irregular. Rise, vamos a verlos también. Rise, rose, risen. Even native speakers mix these up all the time, I'm telling you. So it's rise, rose, risen. Y raise, la que hemos visto en homophones, that one is regular, raised, que también es criar. My mother raised her hand when they asked, did you raise 2 kids? Right? So again, playing with those words as always. Wonderful job to everybody who participated. Also, here's round 2 of today's Spelling Bee, and we're going to take a look at the topic. If you haven't figured it out, it has to do with racing, specifically Formula One. Fijaos, no decimos fórmula, en inglés es formula, pero no solo para eso, fórmula de bebé, la fórmula mágica en la vida, it's formula. So la U es you, formula. All right, so here we go, my amigos. Number 1, FORMULA space ONE space RACING. The second one is MAX VER. Excuse me, I didn't put a space there. Space. So the second one, MAX space VER STAPPEN. The third one is 2021 or 2021. It's a year. Space ABU space DHABI space GRAND space PRIX. The fourth one, LEWIS space HAMILTON. The fifth one is FIRST space DUTCH space CHAMPION. And the sixth one is UNITED space ARAB space EMIRATES. I'm out of breath. All right. So, as many of you have figured out, these are all words that have to do with racing, specifically Formula One racing. Now, what do I need you guys to do? I'm going to give you a little exercise here, a little pop quiz here, addendum, if you will. I know nothing about Formula One, but today, in 2021, which is pretty recent history, Dutch Formula One racing driver Max Verstappen won the controversial 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We don't say Prix, we say Prix. And he beat the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. I'm sure Spanish people enjoyed that one. To become the first Formula One world champion to come from the Netherlands. So there we go, my amigos. The first word was Formula One racing. Oh, and what's your job? Sorry. Explain to me in a sentence or two what happened. Why is it controversial? Well, I mean, I don't get it. I didn't watch it. I don't know the thing, but what, there was some illegal thing that happened there? I don't know. I'm sure many of you know it, but you got to explain it to me in English. So the first word was Formula One racing, or F1. The second one, Max Verstappen, who became the first Formula One world champ to come from the Netherlands, Los Países Bajos. Excuse me. Number 3, the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Well, that's where it took place. That's where the event was. The fourth one is Lewis Hamilton. I know Spanish people hate him. I remember when he was going against Fernando, people were like, I hate Lewis Hamilton and his father too. Y su padre. I'm like, whoa, all right. The fifth one is first Dutch champion, Holandés. And the sixth one is the United Arab Emirates, where Abu Dhabi is located. So there you go, my amigos. And now you know how to pronounce the word race as well. Just making sure you didn't pronounce it like you pronounced the word raise. All right, well, it's time to move on to a section where we eat some popcorn and learn English as we're entertained. It's Name That Movie. Name That Movie. Yes, that's right, my amigos. That's right. You know it. It is Name That Movie, where we learn English from a flick. And I freaking love this flick. I've got to say, this is probably in my, I don't know, top 10, top 20. Let's say top 20. All right. And I think it was a pretty popular one here in Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Because that's something, too, what I've noticed sometimes. Something's a huge hit in the United States and not here, and vice versa. This one, I think, all right, I wouldn't say a huge hit, but it was a popular movie. It was quite popular. In fact, we can even check on IMDb. Its popularity rating is, well, on IMDb, it's got a 6.2 out of 10. So, but I love it. I think it's a hysterical movie because it reminds me of a lot of people I know who could use a little bit of a little bit of R&R, rest and relaxation, right? Because they're angry. And I'm not going to say anything else, because if not, I'm going to give it away. All right, here's your trailer. Let's see if you recognize it. Dave Busnick is a businessman who is wrongly sentenced to an anger management program where he meets an aggressive instructor. All right, there you go, my amigos. Dave Busnick is a businessman who is wrongly sentenced to an anger management program where he meets an aggressive instructor. Does that ring a bell? Also, before I forget, here's your Say What soundbite for the third time.
If we were at home, obviously the Grand National was in Liverpool itself.
Yep.
So if we actually had been drawn at home that day, that Saturday, we'd play the game early. So we kick off at 11 o'clock in the morning.
All right, there you go in the morning. Chris Valrol says music is the answer by Salida and Danny Tenaglia. Oh, so I was right. Danny Tenaglia. I used to go see. I love Danny Tenaglia. Like, you know me, I like all kinds of music. And I had especially when I was in the 90s, I was really into electronic music. I went out a lot to those clubs, and I would see Danny Tenaglia. Because in New York, you could see the greatest DJs every weekend. That's the way it works. It's like Miami, London, these kind of, they draw the big names because they know wherever they're playing, Ibiza is another place like this, it's going to be packed, right? And Danny Tenaglia, man. Oh, the song is great. If you guys haven't heard it, check it out. Let's see. Laura's telling us about the Formula One controversy. And she says the race director decided to let lapped cars pass Hamilton, which meant that Verstappen could go head-to-head with Hamilton and pass him in the final lap. Aha. Okay. Great summary there. She says, I looked it up. Lo consulté. I like Formula One racing, but I didn't remember that. Yeah, well, it's true. There are so many in every little race. I'm sure there's some kind of thing where you're like, well, technically they took too many. Everything can be a little bit controversial, but well, I'm sure our friend Verstappen, nothing was stopping him from having a good time. Okay. All right. I'll stop. Okay. Does anybody know today's Name That Movie? If not, I'll give it to you. I said the name of the movie in the synopsis. So Anger Management is the movie. It stars Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler plays Dave Busnick, a businessman who is wrongly sentenced. Okay, equivocadamente. Le dan una sentencia. Un juez, a judge. He's wrongly sentenced to an anger management program. And anger management is como no sabes controlar, gestionar tu ira, tu rabia, pues vamos y te vamos a... And in the movie, they teach him all the breathing techniques, finding these different rhythms, right? And he meets an aggressive instructor. Enter Buddy Revell, played by the one and only Jack Nicholson. So just imagine this. Jack Nicholson is sent to help you with your anger management. Well, you can only imagine that a guy who he's wrongly sentenced, so he didn't really have an anger problem. He was wrongly sentenced, is with a guy who's making him even more angry than he was before, if he was at all. So the irony of the movie. And then there's a scene, I'm not going to give away too much if you haven't seen it. It's really funny. There's a scene, I think they're on the Brooklyn Bridge or the Queensboro Bridge. I don't remember. They're crossing into New York City, into Manhattan, and he gets angry. But what's his name? Adam Sandler's character gets flustered. Normal. In New York City traffic, people are honking the horn. And he's like, hey, buddy, F you. Or he says something like that to him. And all of a sudden, Jack Nicholson's character takes the keys out of the car, out of the ignition. And he goes, now we're going to stop here. He goes, what are you doing? We can't stop here in the middle of, rush hour traffic in New York City. He goes, you're getting angry, John, or whatever his name was, Dave. You need to calm down. The anger monkeys are coming out. It's really, really funny. And he makes him sing, I feel pretty, oh, so pretty. So just imagine that. Adam Sandler's just furious in traffic, and he just got in a fight with somebody. And now this guy's like, until you calm down, it's dangerous to drive. Sing it. You know the words. I feel pretty. Again, oh, so pretty. And it's a funny scene because you see the two of them sitting there in traffic singing in the car. And you might be an Adam Sandler fan or not, but Jack Nicholson, I mean, come on. He's Jack. Chris says, I haven't watched it, but I will. Oh, it's a classic movie that's really funny. And some really good actors in it, too. Luis Guzman. Also, what's the guy's name? One of the greatest actors. John Torturo. John Torturo, the one who plays Jesus in The Big Lebowski. John Torturo. Man, this, I'm telling you, it's awesome. Oh, and Marissa Tomei is in the movie as well. You know, Marissa Tomei from My Cousin Vinny. And the movie came out in 2003, and I was living in New York. That was my last year living in New York. And I remember knowing I had the DVD. I remember knowing every line in this movie. Every line. Not now, because I haven't seen it in a while. As many of you know, also, I have a daughter. So that means I don't really get to see too much of what I want to see. But it's good. I'm going to anger management, and I'm taking care of it. No, I'm just kidding. Thankfully, I can deal with my anger, because we all have things that make us angry or flustered or frustrate us, things beyond our control, right? I imagine. And it's how you deal with those that makes you, right? Because you can walk around and be angry at this and angry because of the other thing. And generally, I got to say something. When you're a teenager, you're angry at the world. It's funny. But then when you get older, you're like, do I really want to be angry at everything and everyone? No, that's not fun. It's not a good way to live. So it's very common. People are sentenced to anger. Okay, 4 years in prison plus anger management. You can't control your temper, right? And awesome movie. Now, he wanted, Adam Sandler is also the producer. He originally tried to get Eddie Murphy for the role of Dr. Buddy Rydell, who was played by Jack Nicholson in the end perfectly. I mean, I can't imagine the movie with Eddie Murphy. So thank God he didn't get Eddie Murphy. Also, Steve Martin, Robert De Niro, Bill Murray, Dustin Hoffman. I can't see any of those in this role. The only person I can see that could really get under somebody's skin perfectly, well, maybe Bill Murray. Te compro el Steve Martin or Bill Murray. But Robert De Niro and Dustin Hoffman, I think I know why. Because they were big names. You know, I don't, as a casting director, I would definitely put, if I didn't put Jack Nicholson in that role, I would put Steve Martin or Bill Murray, because it's got to be a character that gets under your skin. Que te saca de quicio, I think you say. Folks, we've got to go to our final commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. This is the fourth and final part of today's show, but the good news, right after today's show, you've got the one and only Ximena Holiday. That's right. Ximena Holiday. Test your English. She's just warming up right now, having that extra cup of tea and getting ready to rock you. And after that, you got the lunchtime show. You've got Jules Linares, and Let's Get Random, which, by the way, I finally got to chat with Jules Linares the other day in person, and wonderful person. So nice to meet her and Ruby and all the latest additions to Vaughn Radio. Download our app, and you'll never miss a beat. It's Vaughn Radio, and this is the show with no name, where English is exciting and even interactive. Yeah, in fact, speaking of a little interaction, let's do today's double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. That's right, amigos. That's right. It's double trouble only on the show with no name. Let's take a look at today's double trouble and see if you guys can figure it out. You have to use the same word twice in double trouble. And today, I'm serious, just twice. All right, are you ready? Here we go. ¿Oíste ese ruido anoche? No, estuve profundamente sobado, dormido. I love the word sobado, right? I love the pastries too, los sobado. Oh, see, now I'm talking about food again. Didn't mean to do it, but I am. So the double trouble is, ¿oíste ese ruido anoche? No, estuve profundamente sobado. All right? Profundamente dormido. All right. And in the meantime, I've got to give you today's Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time. Wow, time really does fly. Here we go.
If we were at home, obviously the Grand National's in Liverpool itself.
Yep.
So if we actually had been drawn at home that day, that Saturday, we'd play the game early. So we kick off at 11 o'clock in the morning.
All right, there we go, my amigos. That is your Say What soundbite for the fourth time. And hopefully somebody will be able to figure out who our Scottish friend is and what he's saying. Also, what else? We just listened to the Say What soundbite. All right, let's look at the double trouble. We'll take a look at the movie, and then we've got a lot more to do. Let's see. Laura's the first one to take a stab at our double trouble. And again, it's ¿oíste ese ruido anoche? No, estuve profundamente sobado. So Laura says, did you hear that sound last night? And she says, no, I was sound asleep. Yes. We use that a lot, amigos. Man, you were sound asleep. In fact, I said it to a friend. We were at Parque de Atracciones in Madrid, and they had one of those Christmas shows. And one of the dads who I speak English to, he fell asleep in the show. I couldn't because I had 3 kids climbing on me, my daughter and 2 others. Estaban escalándome ahí. So, but one of the dads was like, oh, this is great. I got like 10 minutes to close my eyes here. And he goes, did I fall asleep? I go, dude, you were sound asleep. Like profundamente. So great job, Laura. Let's see, Daniela, did you hear that noise last night? No, I was sound asleep. German, did you hear that loud sound last night? No, I was sound asleep. All right, nice job. Did ya? Y fijaos, no es did you, es did ya? Did you hear that sound last night? No, I was sound asleep. Do you know how many times my wife and I have had that conversation? Well, she's a light sleeper and I'm a heavy sleeper. No solo porque peso más. A light sleeper is somebody who wakes up easily, right? And a heavy sleeper is you can drop an atomic bomb next to me, and that's dangerous because I don't know. Okay, I'm wide awake all day. Mira, el inverso. Wide awake, super despierto all day. But when I go down, otra forma de decir ir a la cama, I am sound asleep. Sound as a pound. So, did you hear that sound last night? No, I was sound asleep. All right, let's take a look at the scene from our movie Anger Management, starring the one and only Jack Nicholson, Oscar winner, Marissa Tomei, who's also an Oscar winner, and Adam Sandler, who has produced at least 3 or 4 of my favorite movies. All right, so Dr. Buddy Rydell says, I want you to approach Miss Thing again. Miss Thing is señorita, no? Especial. Miss, do you think you're Miss Thing? Right? ¿Te crees súper importante? Right? So he goes, I want you to approach Miss Thing again. Que te acerques otra vez. And Dave says, no. And Dr. Buddy Rydell says, with confidence. And if she says no this time, I will admit that I'm a failure as a therapist. And I will release you from my program. Because he's forced, obligado, to be with this doctor because of the judge, as I said. And the doctor's driving him up a wall. Le está volviendo loquísimo. And then Dave says, you'll release me from your program? Because he's like, I'm not angry. But they're only making him more angry. If somebody tells you you're crazy over and over, and you're like, I'm not crazy, you're going to start thinking you're crazy. So he realizes, he's like, wait, did you just say you'll release me from your program? And Buddy nods. Senta la cabeza. He nods. And Dave says, okay. And then Dr. Buddy Rydell says, then stand up. Just go over there and repeat the following verbatim. Repite lo que estoy a punto de decir, palabra por palabra, contextualmente, verbatim. He goes, I'm sorry I was so rude before. Lo siento por ser tan maleducado antes. But it's difficult for me to express myself when I'm on the verge of exploding in my pants. This is what the doctor tells him to say. He goes, es difícil expresarme cuando estoy en el borde, on the verge of exploding in my pants. And then Dave says, huh? Like, what do you want me to say? And they sit down. And Dave says, get out of here. Como, get out of here, no, en este caso no es lárgate. Calla, no, get out of here. Como, claro que no. And then he says, trust me, Dave, trust me. If you were calm as well as witty, she will respond. So si fueras calmado y también, pues, gracioso, witty, ingenioso, she'll respond, no? Te dará feedback, she'll respond. And Dave says, I think witty went out the window. O sea, nos deshacimos de witty. He says, I think witty went out the window with the whole pants explosion thing. And then Dr. Buddy Rydell, he's challenging him. Le está retando. And he goes, my offer still stands. O sea, mi oferta sigue ahí en la mesa. And Dave says, so If I repeat that crazy shit you probably stole from a porno flick, you sick bastard, and get rejected, you'll release me from the program? Y me rechaza? Me liberas de este programa? And Dr. Buddy Rydell says, exactly. So there you go. Really, really funny movie. Don't expect like, oh my God, wow, it's so deep. But at the same time, these movies are hysterical. Histéricos. Remember, that means two different things. In English, it's all about the context. You're hysterical, estás totalmente calmado, that means you're funny. If you're screaming like a banshee, like you're out of your mind, well, then at that point, I'm going to say, man, I don't know what his problem is. He's been hysterical all day. So again, one of those words that if you're paying attention, you'll know exactly what we're talking about, which is generally the idea. And you know where you have to pay special attention? To funny or punny things such as jokes. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking. That's right, amigos. You're joking. All right, I got some jokes here that I think are hysterical, and you know which way I mean it. And let's see if you guys get these nuances, estos matices. The first one, why is Frankenstein's monster always smiling? Why is Frankenstein's monster always smiling? Because the doctor keeps him in stitches. No. Because the doctor keeps him in stitches? I love that one. No. Does anyone know the double meaning there? Well, let's put it this way. If you sew, then you have to know how to stitch. Punto, puntada. Right? But also, a stitch is puntos. I got 6 stitches. Me pusieron 6 puntos. Stitches. And what does Frankenstein have around his head? Stitches. But also, the expression to be in stitches is to be cracking up. So le mantiene riéndose a tope. Man, we were in stitches last night with those stories you were telling. It's a very native way of saying we were cracking up. We were in stitches. And normally we'd use that word in plural, right? How many? Did you get stitches? Oh, yeah. One time I got stitches on my finger. I sliced it open, something like that. So stitches. But the expression to be in stitches is what you will be after this next joke. Okay, why did the monster need lip balm or chapstick? Usamos la marca también ahí. Why did the monster need lip balm? Because his lips were cracking. His lips were cracking. I should have said, why did the sea monster need lip balm? Bálsamo we say balm, lip balm. La L es medio muda, balm. So why did the monster need lip balm? The sea monster, his lips were cracking. You know, the sea monster, el monstruo del mar, le llaman the Kraken. Release the Kraken. But also, it sounds like his lips were cracking, agrietándose. His lips were cracking. I know, you're cracking up. You're in stitches. But wait till you hear this next one. Why do cyclopses get along so well? Why do cyclopses, things with one eye, like from Homer's The Iliad, right? The Odyssey. Why do cyclopses get along so well? Because they always see eye to eye. No, ven ojo a ojo, ¿están de acuerdo? Bueno, importante saber la preposición. We see eye to eye on this. ¿No? El on es parte de esa frase ahí. So why do cyclopses get along so well? Because they always see eye to eye. All right, last one. And I think this is the best one, honestly. All right, what did the grandfather monster say to his grandson monster after not seeing him for a year? I guess he went off to Monster College, Universidad de Monstruos. And finally, when he came home for the holidays after a year, what did the grandfather monster say to his grandson after he hadn't seen him in a year? He said, "You grew some." You grew some? Gruesome? All right, la palabra gruesome se escribe, es repelente, repugnante, espantoso. Oh, man, that is gruesome. That is gruesome. But also, you gruesome. Creciste algo. Creciste un poco. I'm sorry. I think it's funny. What did the grandfather say to his grandson after he hadn't seen him? The monster grandfather say to his monster grandson after he hadn't seen him in over a year. He said, "You gruesome." Es muy frase de abuelo también. You gruesome. Pero gruesome is, oh, that monster is gruesome. Repelente. All right, my amigos, I hope you enjoyed our jokes, and I hope you're ready to celebrate in today's famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Birthdays for me. Birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Birthdays for him. Birthdays for her. Birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. That's right. All right, let's take a look at our famous birthday boys and girls. And the first person was born in 1958. An American bass player, songwriter, and producer. His real name, I'm going to tell you his real name because nobody knows him by his real name, unless you're a huge fan. His birth name was Frank Carlton Serafino Ferrana Jr., and he was born today in 1958, but that's not his stage name when he plays with his band Motley Crue, right? Motley Crue. And what can we say? He is best known as a co-founder of the band Motley Crue, who was on tour last summer, by the way, with Def Leppard. And he had been in other bands before as well. He even formed a hard rock group called Brides of Destruction with the guitarist of LA Guns. And he's also got an amazing, I love this group here, 6 a.m. And I just helped you out with his last name. All right, well, his stage name. Number 2, this woman was born in 1926. Very maternal. So much that she was called Big Madre, Madre Grande, Gran Madre. She was an American singer-songwriter, and she was a big woman. She was heavy and tall as well. And she wrote some amazing songs and performed as well. She was the first one to record Hound Dog. You know the song? You ain't nothing but a hound dog, lying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and... Well, she was the first one to sing that song. Also, Ball and Chain, which is just an amazing song she wrote and performed. So definitely one of the greatest blues and R&B legends ever. And most people who are making that kind of music today can look back with reverence at this Gran Madre, who was born today in 1926. And last but not least, this guy was born in 1961, a Scottish footballer and manager. And he played for Liverpool, very successful Liverpool teams. He was a regular member of the Scottish national team, and he represented his country at the 1986 FIFA World Cup. What else? Now you can catch this guy. He's on ESPN Soccer. SoccerNet, or como se llama? ESPN Soccer. You can catch this guy. And if you can follow along with him, you're good. You are good. All right. Speaking of good, Chris Valrol. She got our famous birthdays. Number 1, Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue. Number 2, Big Mama Thornton. And number 3, Steve Nickel. Steve Nickel, who was today's Say What soundbite. Great effort, Chris. She said she missed a few words, I think you said. All right, well, this is Steve Nickel. And he, believe as a native English speaker, a mí me costaba al principio. Because I listen to this guy now, or I watch him when he talks about sports, because now he's a commentator. But try. Busca Steve Nickel y ves si puedes seguir sus conversaciones ahí. Y más cuando están en la mesa con 5 o 6 más. I know it from experience. The hardest people to understand are sportscasters. Because they're talking about, he's going to he's going to. And then if they got that Scottish thing going on, well, it's even harder. So he goes, if we were at home, si jugábamos en casa, if we were at home, obviously the Grand Nationals are in Liverpool itself. And the Grand Nationals is a big horse race. We were talking about races before. He goes, and obviously the Grand Nationals are in Liverpool itself. So we actually had been drawn at home that week, that day, that Saturday. And to be drawn at home is te toca el partido, right? We have a draw on Wednesday. It's otra forma de decir un partido, right? Una jornada, right, would be maybe the way. So we had been drawn at home that week. Nos tocaba jugar en casa esa semana. That Saturday. And he goes, we played the game early. So we kick off at 11 o'clock in the morning. And his point, what he goes on to say is, and then they went to the races, one of the most important races there called the Grand Nationals. All right, let's hear birthday boy Steve Nickel.
If we were at home, obviously the Grand Nationals in Liverpool itself.
Yep.
So if we actually had been drawn at home that day, that Saturday, we'd play the game early. So we kick off at 11 o'clock in the morning.
All right, amigos, time for Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
All right, amigos, that applause is for each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, amigos. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you once again. The good news, we're going to be here all week. No weird stuff this week, no holidays or anything. And we're in the final stretch. Estamos ya en la recta final, the home stretch, the final stretch. And what do I mean? That means this week and next week. And then we're taking a little break for Christmas. On the 22nd, we'll be taking a break and we'll be back, I believe, on the 8th. So yeah, right. The good thing is it's not going to be a big break. It'll be a short enough break where you'll miss us and where we'll get to rest as well. But also remember, if you're following along on social media, well, most of us, we post even on holidays. Well, because I post more stuff when I'm on holiday because I have a little bit more free time. So follow us, and this way you're getting content all the time. All of our shows are available via podcasts. So wherever you listen to podcasts, you can listen to our shows as well. And our Vaughn Radio app, of course. So thank you so much, folks. And this song, I think it's going to put everybody in a good mood. It's called Highway Star by Deep Purple. Highway Star, Estrella de la Autovía. And we've been talking a lot about races today. Nobody gonna take my car. I'm gonna race it to the ground. I'm sure you've heard it. It's Deep Purple. It's got one of the coolest guitar riffs ever. It's about cars. How many love songs are there out there? to people and their, who they dedicate their love song to their car. I can think of 5 or 6 just off the top of my head. All right, well, folks, as we said, this is a race against time here. So here's today's Name That Lyric. Sing along with us. And thanks so much for being here. Let's go. Woo! If you don't rock with this one, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Wow! Nobody gonna take my car. I'm gonna race it to the ground. Yeah.